If you're somewhat familiar with Facebook ads, you know the concept of retargeting. Essentially how it works is that a person who sees your ad doesn't necessarily buy from the first time, but they just get to know your product. After that, they see more ads that handle their objections, that provide social proof, and that basically convince them to buy from you, and then only they buy. And these ads that are not like the first touch point with your customers, but are actually for those who already know you but haven't bought yet, those are retargeting ads. And in Facebook, as you probably know, you can actually set in the settings that this ad will be shown to like people who have engaged with you, with your social media accounts, who have visited your website and so on, or to target people who are actually cold and haven't seen your product or your ads yet. Now, there are some misconceptions about retargeting ads, and in this video I want to talk about it, especially about the role of retargeting ads versus cold ads, but also how to set them up correctly for the most efficient performance. So first of all, many Facebook ads beginners actually go and think, okay, retargeting ads are extremely important, because they always see, okay, retargeting ads, for example, get them a ROAS of 5 and cold ads only a ROAS of 2. So therefore, it's of course the retargeting ads being extremely important. What they often ignore is though that those retargeting ads are extremely limited, because the main difference is that you can show your cold ads to basically anyone who would be a fit for your product, but the retargeting ads, you can show them only to people who have already seen your ads. And this pool of people who have already seen your ads is of course so much smaller than the pool of potential customers that you can show cold ads to. So one thing about retargeting ads is that they seem very important, but most of the time they only contribute 10 to 20% to the total revenue. If you actually want to grow your business, you're better off focusing on top of funnel ads, on cold ads, ads that introduce your product to the people, and ads that focus on actually converting the cold audience, not the warm audience. Now, of course, you can click off the video and say, okay, I don't need retargeting ads, I will just focus on cold ads. That's fair. In that case, like, just focus on that if that's not nailed yet. But if you want the best squeeze of performance also through retargeting ads, keep watching, because I will explain exactly how you should use retargeting ads on Facebook in 2025, because it's a bit counterintuitive. So one common misconception is that, well, for a retargeting ad to be a retargeting ad, I need to like choose in the targeting settings, of course, those people who visited the website and who visited my social media profiles and who basically engaged with my ads, right? And the answer to that is no, that's actually wrong. And I will explain why. The problem is that with the targeting settings of like especially iOS devices, Facebook really struggles to track those people. So it can be that you get some data, but this data of who visited your website, who put it into their cart, who engaged with your social media, this data will be very incomplete. So if you set those targeting settings and tell Facebook to only target these people, you miss out on a lot of people. Now, what do you do instead? And this is the very counterintuitive part. Because what makes a retargeting ad actually a retargeting ad is not the settings. I repeat, it's not the Facebook ad settings. It's what's on the ad creative. I'll give you an example. For example, if you have a cold ad, you usually start with a pain point or a desired outcome or a problem state, and you lead the ad to the solution, to the desired state, and you place the product as the bridge of how your customer can get from the state in pain to the desired state. Now, this makes a lot of sense if this is a cold ad, but if you want to retarget someone, they don't need to see the whole explanation and your whole like sales funnel again. They know you already, but they still haven't purchased, either because they are still saving, maybe they just need a reminder and want to buy it after their next paycheck, maybe they are still considering it and need more proof that it works, maybe they have very specific objections of why they think it wouldn't work, and then your job with the retargeting ads is just to go and build social proof, handle the objections that they might have, and just push them over their action threshold and get them to buy. So in your retargeting ads, you want to focus on social proof and showing how it works for many people, and you want to be using special offers to get them to take action. And you have to understand that if you make such an ad, it usually won't perform for a cold audience. Such an ad makes only sense for someone who has already context, who has already seen a cold ad, and who is already in your funnel. And this is what makes an ad a retargeting ad. not the targeting settings. As a consequence, cold ads are usually more organic looking and more entertaining, educational, just like organic content on social media, whereas middle of funnel ads or retargeting ads have rather this salesy style and actually look like ads. Now, let's say you understand all that and make retargeting ads. Good, you have them now. How should you launch them? Now, the counterintuitive thing is you just launch them. You really don't even need to set any retargeting settings, not website visitors, not social media engagers, nobody. You can just launch them. And the beautiful thing is that the Facebook algorithm will just take the ad and go to different people in your audience and show it to those people. And what the algorithm will notice is that, when I show it to cold people who don't know your product, they don't react at all to it. Obviously, because you're selling to a person that doesn't even know that you have the solution and they don't have any objections yet. They don't know your product. So they will just skip the ad. But then the algorithm sees, but if I show the ad to someone who has seen already a cold ad, suddenly it's super efficient. So what will the algorithm do? It will only show your retargeting ad to people who have already seen your cold ad. And the best thing is this defeats the beta insufficiency that we have since the iOS privacy updates. Because this system now doesn't rely on data that was collected before, but actually it just machine learns again when you launch the ad what audience is ideal for this ad without you setting any limitations or restrictions on the audience. This also results in a bigger pool of people that you can target. So that means those retargeting ads or middle of funnel ads are actually more scalable. And what is even more beautiful, this also results in retargeting the audience of your competitors. It sounds very weird, but essentially if someone saw a competitor ad, a cold ad, and already know the product, then of course your retargeting ad will also make sense to those kind of people, even though they haven't seen your cold ad. So essentially you're expanding your audience and retargeting and even stealing purchases from your competitors. So this is what I do with the brands that I work with, and this is why it's extremely effective. Now, you might still see that if you set retargeting settings in the Facebook Ads Manager, you actually get a higher ROAS. You limit your audience, but you still get a higher ROAS. So I don't necessarily recommend running it, but if you really need the ROAS and return on investment right now, if you really need to run retargeting within the settings, this is how I would do it. So essentially there are some points you have to pay attention to. First of all, of course, the retargeting ads, like the ad creative style, still stands. Like everything that I told you before, they still have to build social proof, handle objections, and like give special offers to sell. But to add to that, you also set retargeting settings, like you actually define a custom audience that you will target in your ads, and you say, okay, I only want to target people who visited my website within the last 30 days. I only want to target people who watched an ad within the last 30 days. I only want to target people who liked or commented or visited my social profiles in the last 30 or 60 days. And so on. If you do this kind of manual retargeting, it's very, very important that you don't set the budget too high. Because when you limit the audience pool so much and just focus on the people that you actually have data from, you run into the danger of burning down your funnel. For example, let's say you have this retargeting ad set that gives you a ROAS of 5 and the cold ads just a ROAS of 2. And your target ROAS is, let's say, 3. Then you just think, okay, I will increase the budget on the retargeting because, well, I can afford to scale. Even if ROAS goes down, like I will reach more people, I will get a ROAS from more of my ad spend, will get a better ROAS. It's a win, I will do it. Now the danger of that is because, well, the audience that you target is so limited, is that the frequency will shoot up. You will target all of your people in your funnel, you will convert them successfully and everything goes well, and then everything just crashes down, even though you did everything successfully. Because the problem is, if you convert people within your funnel faster than you get new people into your funnel, that means you just run out of people who are about to buy, and then essentially no retargeting ad will work for you, but only cold ads. So it's extremely important that you keep your retargeting budget relatively low to the cold budget, even if the ROAS is really, really good. I recommend not going over more than 20%. If more than 20% of your budget is just used for retargeting, this can work in the short term, but will definitely fail in the long term. Now, I hope this video was insightful. I keep making videos about how Facebook works on the inside, how to set up campaigns, how to make high converting creatives every single week. So if it was useful, consider subscribing so you see me again. Also, if you're already at the point where you want to delegate actually ad creative production and scale faster by just focusing on your brand, feel free to click the first link in the description and then you can book a call with me and discuss working with me and my team, providing you with highly performing ad creatives and setting up your ads in a way that you will scale extremely fast. Here are just some examples of what we did for other brands, and chances are I can do the same for you. Keep scaling. Cheers.